Boo boo. All right, I think we might be live. Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream and or live stream VOD. Thanks so much for being here and checking out the content. Today we've got roughly an hour and a half stream. Gonna be just tooling around in New World, doing a little PvP, doing a little hangout, and you guys are welcome to join in, as I always like to do these podcasts, game live streams in a way. Anyway, top link in the description. If you're not a part of the Discord community, it's absolutely free to jump in and join there. But outside of that, guys, I just hope that you're well. Today, I want to talk about Throne of Liberty. I also want to talk about New World Aeternum. These are two of the most, upcoming, and Throne of Liberty still in early access, dropping in free to play on October 1st. These are the two of the nearest ones, and then later this year we do have the Ashes of Creation Alpha 2, as well as Pantheon is entering into early access. So it's going to be a good, fun time all around. But that's what I want to talk about today. So if you guys want to come hang out in that, we can talk about that. We can really, or talk about whatever the heck you want. What's going on, Code? Code Breakers over on Twitch. How you doing, sir? Let me click on the window. There we go. Now let's go ahead and get logged into the game. Open up Discord, but we were just going live. Wife was like, hey, why don't you go play some games? I was like, that sounds like a great idea. Sounds like a wonderful idea. And so here we are. So when I think about what I'm doing right now in Aeternum, like if I was talking about like prepping for the release here on October the 15th, it honestly is just more about resource gathering than anything else. Just like trying to grab every bit of, that we can. And overall, see how much progress I can make on the season pass. I have struggled with the season pass. I think that could have been implemented way better, and I hope that we'll see future changes with the season pass at some point. But we're not there yet. We're still working on it. And let's see, do I have my adjustment? Like the thing keeps sliding down a little bit. My mic. Let's see here. And I had a tool, and then the kids came in, and my Nintendo controller, which is not helping me out today. All right. Well, I have a philosophy in life. I don't know if everybody else is the same way, but I was like, put the thing in the same spot every time and you'll never lose it. And ever since I got married with kids, man, I tell you, that is not something that works out well. What's going on, Stag? How you doing? And Crash, man, it's funny. I was literally just watching the Crystal Core podcast, and you went live. Dude, thanks so much for checking out the podcast. I wasn't able to get it up early enough. There we go. This seems to be sticking, which is good. It's just like this one. There's like a couple different joint points that are going on. So thanks for checking out the pod. Like Chris was out this last week. We had Chrono, but Chrono was having some like internet issues, so he had to dip, and it was just me and Jay. So it was a really good, fun conversation all the way around. Let me go ahead and also promote this over on the Discord, because no, not yet. Almost accidentally ended the stream, which has been great. What's going on, Death Hour? How you doing, sir? Make sure that that's showing up. Like, oh, good, it is. Sometimes I'm always like, why am I not seeing this chat? Like, I see it in one, and then I don't see it in the join. I'm not going to be doing a fresh start server. I did that as a part of the fresh start promotion. When they first did those, but no, I'm going to be sticking where I'm at. I've always promised that I'm not going to be transferring on you guys as that goes. Where's my Discord? There we go. Hey, who wants to hang here? Role players. Boop. All right, cool. And promoted. Awesome. Dude, the new combat, like, it is so night and day how like you playing the new version feels over this version. And it's like with the controller support that they finally added, I was like, yeah, let's go. And then you play the new version and you're just like, oh, it's way better. Like it feels way better. So I'm excited for that. Let's go over here. Still got that beautiful free fast travel going on right now. So how has combat changed exactly? So that's a great question. And if I butcher your name, hey, what's going on, Black Taco? Welcome in. Thanks for redeeming those channel points over on Twitch. So they have like gone into the core of what this game is from just a combat perspective. So before it was heavily script driven, so it made it really difficult for them to find all the different problems that they were having. And then essentially, I'm gonna actually have to check a few things. So they've gone in and now they refactored the entire combat into C#. No, excuse me, that's not correct. C++. It's like, no, C# is what I work in. C++ is what they've done. So that actually allows them to do line level debugging, which has allowed them to actually find some of the things that were just not working right, and they couldn't find out the reason. And this is something that I think has been a very good thing overall. So they there we go. I'll do this. Boom, baby. I probably should swap to my weapons that I want to level, because that's what we should probably be on. All right, let me pull up my different gear sets, and I finished flail, so bow and musket. That's, ooh, I guess I'll keep flail, and then I'll go with this bad boy. See, I can feel like a little bit of lag in that, and then in the new build, like it was great. You know, like it just was like, it was so much more responsive. So smoother aim, like the whole thing is just smoother, and it just like, it's hard to explain, because like at first when I played Aeternum, I was like, I'm having a good time. This is fun. Looks like, I was like, are there going to be any big problems with the beta? Turns out there wasn't. There's one issue that somebody reported that was Starlink, and it was like, oh, and then we actually were able to troubleshoot and get that fixed. There we go. And so that was interesting. I am going to be playing Throne of Liberty, but I'm not playing Throne of Liberty right now because they want $40 for it, and it's going to be free on the 1st. And as I stated in one of the videos, like, I do not have 40 hours to play between October, or even with early access, and October 15th. It just is like, it's not gonna, it does not make sense. What's up, dude? Lies, yeah. He has endless amounts of free time. You only happen to see him, you know, live a couple months out of the year, a couple days out of the week. Let's see here. God is good, Codebreaker. God is good. He says, dude, Hurricane Helena was supposed to come straight through the city, but apparently there was a lot of people prayer because it literally turned away from us when it was 30 minutes away. Dude, I'm glad you're okay, man. Like, I've been watching some of that destruction, and it was like, kind of like, I was listening to, what's his name? He does like varies commentary on supply chain, but Peter Zahan, and he was talking about like watch the eye of the storm and kind of where it's going to be kind of the worst, you know, etc. I have family out in Florida, so far nothing negative to report for them.
Yeah, but it's family in Tampa.
Yeah.
So,
oh.
I think they're okay.
That's good. Been watching some video for PvE tank, and I've been sword flail combo. Yeah, sword and flail like is a good combo for a tank. In my like, I agree with that. That sounds like, because you get the shield for both of them, and you get some natural like healing over time with the flail. So it's like, let's go. I should probably take a look and see what I should be working on, because if we're gonna do seasonal stuff, activity card, or earn a free stamp. All right. Kill beasts. Cool. I'm on that prog. How you been, Yamron? How was your weekend?
Not too bad. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really complain. But nothing to report.
Nothing to report. Okay.
Started playing WoW again.
Oh, the new expansion?
Yeah. It's fine. I have some issues with it. In terms of like the story so far, like I'm only level 74.
Okay.
But just like, man, they went balls deep into the DEI, like, and it's really blatant, and it's hard not to see it. And I'm just like,
in WoW.
All right, power through, man, power through.
In WoW.
The gameplay's fun.
Yeah. So
what the main story for the War Within is just.
Oh yeah.
Like everyone who's in power is a woman. Like all the men are wrong for some odd reason. Right now you're in an area where this really amazing person is a disabled black woman. And I'm just like,
oh
what?
Man, virtue signal harder, please.
And she's like, she's from the line, she's from a very powerful, like, prestigious line of rulers in human history.
That's been one of the most
WoW.
interesting things that I've seen online is about, like, we're gonna put this like warrior in a wheelchair, and it's like in a world of magic and shape-shifting.
So this warrior, this female warrior, she's missing an arm and she's blind in one eye because apparently she quote unquote made a mistake that cost her an arm and an eye.
Interesting.
Don't know what that is.
I guess you'll find out.
Maybe. But like she already fulfilled like a magical Negro fucking like position.
Dude.
And it's just like, oh my god, come on.
Can't believe you use that word. Like when my daughter said that, I was like, oh, dude.
When Negro?
Yeah. I don't like that one.
Gotta be careful of.
Well, still, like, it's like, I don't know, like, it just feels like we watched what was the movie? It was Hairspray. It was a great movie, and it's dealing a lot with like all that stuff. And it's like, and then we watched it with her, and then, you know, she's, you know, small, and I'm like, she just kind of turned and said, and I was like, she's like, what is that? And I was like, oh man, that's, I don't know. I've never used that one either.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like there's a lot of history we should need to understand.
It's just like,
there we go.
Someone, Lawrence Ellis, is asking what spells are you using. I can't see them.
Yeah, sorry. Like I'm in ultra wide, which actually, like in Aeternum, like with how they've done the UI, it actually works better for me playing in ultra wide and streaming. Let me just pull it up real quick. Thank you very much, Yammer, for reminding me about that. Let's go weapon mastery, and then let's go great axe. I am using the Mauler side, Maelstrom, the gravity well.
Yeah, I mean,
and whirlwind.
That's literally, to be honest though, that's literally like the term. It's a cinematic term.
Haven't heard anyone in 30 years say that. Yeah. Oh, it's a cinematic term? Like, I don't know. I was just like,
term used in cinema. And like, I mean, they probably say like magical African American, but it's like the actual term is that.
Interesting.
But,
and that's the thing. Like, even if it's like, yeah, this is a character we're gonna put in here, and it's gonna be like, it's the well has been poisoned so much that it's like people are just like, okay, like turns out
the story itself is fine. Like, I'm interested to see where it goes. But it's just like the characters that pull you along are all like check marks.
Yeah. Like, well, that's what generally people are frustrated with. It's like, okay, you're just hitting check marks so that you. That's interesting. Did you see the latest stuff on Dragon Quest 3? That's like Square Enix did their conference, and the creators are like, yeah, this sucks. This is weird. Why? Like, we don't get it. But like they're saying that like the creator of Dragon Quest is like, yeah, like it's because of like these weirdos in America that we have to like, we can't call them male or female.
Dude,
it's like, wow, just do it, man.
I was creating a couple characters earlier, and I'm just like, dude, freaking body type 1, body type 2, like, fucking hell, man.
I don't like the 1 and 2. I like when they label it A and B because it's just so funny. Like, you have the body type asshole and body type bitch. It's like, come on, guys. What are we doing here? All right, that one's done. Let's see if I can do some breaches or fish or kill enemy. One more kill enemy is perfect. I don't even know where I'm supposed to be. But yeah, I'm making my way in the right way. The problem is like when because Lawrence says every game is woke. Well, I only use it in terms of the fact that it's a poison word for sure.
I prefer either the message or like DEI.
Well, to focus in on a kind of a specific issue, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than like, because everybody, like, the fact is like, I saw someone's like, every game's woke. It's like, okay, like, first problem we have in this culture war is that we do not all agree on what words mean. And so, like, that in and of itself just leads people down one rabbit hole or another.
I mean, I don't know if just way less modern audience than WoW. How about that? Yeah, I mean, it still has New World still has pronouns, but they don't hold any meaning to them. Any meaning, like in your bio, you can pick your pronouns, which is dumb, but like because they don't do anything, so it's just like, why have them?
Yeah, there's no knock on it. It's another, that's a virtue signal kind of mindset.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it doesn't pay attention. I mean, I would like more body sliders. Modern audience, yeah, that's a better term. I usually go with like DEI or the message.
Well, I have to use like religious words to focus in on it, right? Because it's like one of the things that when you look at.
Although if you say like cultural Marxism, that like turns people away, and it's just like, all right, don't use that word.
Right, like, but it's like beyond that word, there's still like a kind of a religious component that you end up like seeing, and this is where it's like I say, like, from like somebody who leans right, like a big part of the thing that I see happening a lot with these guys is that you have to be 100% in on the message. Like it's all or nothing for them, because if you slightly deviate, you're excommunicado, like without question. And that's what leads to, you know, you see, like, it's not even like the thing is it's not even about diversity. There's no diversity of thought there. And then you look at people that I would say that are on my side, is it ends up being like, hey, we're all flawed human beings, but we don't like these shared issues. Let's focus in on these core issues and see if we can't make gaming overall better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you go, and the problem also ends up being is that, like, I don't like to define either side based off of their extremes, because the extremes on both sides are just like, dude, like some guy was yelling at me. He's like, you're a hypocrite, blah, blah, blah. Because I was like, okay, Ghost to Yotai. I was like, all right, cool. Looks fine. And they're like, the actress is super, like, activist. I'm like, okay, yeah. But if we're gonna say that, like, any game that anybody who remotely touches, what's up?
There are people who are saying, like, don't touch it. And I'm just like, listen.
Just wait. It's literally just wait. Yeah.
If it winds up being in the game, like,
yeah,
the activism, then yeah.
If they want to go insert 2024 25 politics in a 16th century Japanese game, then yeah, like, screw them. Like and then don't try and gaslight me, telling me that, like, oh yeah, this is. They've already, you know, like, this was something that was real. You just don't see it reported because of the, you know, colonialism or some BS, you know, kind of, you know, like, phrasing or verbiage. It's like, all right, guys, come on. And it's so funny. Like, oh gosh, there was another thing that was like recently, just like, oh yeah, it turns out that was true. It's like, yeah, I remember y'all gaslighting me that it was, and then it's like, turns out, yeah, stop believing your lying eyes. Okay. So. But yeah, so the Dragon Warrior stuff was really cool to see because of the fact that it's like they don't even want it, and they feel like they are forced to. And this is something I saw, like, Asmongold kind of talking about, is that you have these companies, and their only words and thoughts that they're actually getting put into their head is from the, you know, these journalists and, you know, like, reviewers, and they're not even, like, taking into the account. And that in and of itself is one of the things why people are just performing poorly. Let's see here. Stag says, Ghost of Tsushima was a great game with no message in it, and I'm hoping the new one will be the same. I hope so too. And that was the message that I put out. I go, okay, cool. I think the character looks good. I think the character looks like this could be really cool. I like Ghost when I played it, the first one. Just wait and see, because just based off of, like, yes, I am not going to fault anybody if they go and say there's red flags, I don't like this or that. That's perfectly fine. But to go in and preemptively label it, like, if we're just going to, like, oh, anybody who's ever done this is, therefore this game is that, like, that is just, then it becomes meaningless. It becomes, there's nothing to unite behind. because if you can narrow in and focus in on like a core issue or complaint, then I think real work can be done and real compromise can be done. Because like I saw something from Zachary Levi, who plays Shazam and Chuck, and he was saying like nobody, like they're not evil on the other side, that we're all being poisoned and lied to. But you know, it's like at the end of the day, like when it comes down to it, I've seen, you know, Asman even talk about like it's impossible to reason with an unreasonable person, and yes, that's true. But we still have to, I think, a due diligence of sorting out whether somebody is reasonable and rational and, you know, can have a discussion with, rather than go into this complete tribalism where each side is just the worst. And it's like, okay, yeah, like, and that's one of the things I saw somebody like, and I was memeing on it because it's like, they're like, if I had a nickel for every time, you know, like a right-wing Superman or like a DC character came out, you know, I'd have 10 cents. And I was like, dude, if I had a nickel for any time like a left-wing grifter, you know, like completely doesn't understand the nuance of people's personal politics, I'd be richer than Elon Musk. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, yes. What's up? What's going on, Cartoon? Hello. Oh, dude, you need top surgery scars in your games. In a world of magic and shapeshifters, though. Like that is a world in which you have those things and they choose to do it, which again is why are they doing it? Because they think they can sell more video games.
You have people with breast cancer, right? Who are complaining that like, yo, this isn't something to be celebrated. Like this is actually not.
No, it's dangerous. They had what was it, 120 or 130-year-old 12-year-olds like get top surgery. It's like, yeah, that's why this is a religious fight. That's and you, like the only thing I can use to describe it is we have to use religious words, because that's how we can make sense of it. If you're gonna, because it's like, all right, what was wrong with him? No, they said this. Interesting. And that's where I get really lit up. That's where my activism goes into overdrive. We got to protect the kids and we got to protect the women. And if we can't do that, then we deserve the collapse that this will bring on.
Boob sliders, flat chest, yeah.
The boob slider on Max is still flat chested. What the hell?
Oh, in Dragon Age Veilguard.
That's going to be an interesting test to see what happens.
It's not exactly flat, but it's pretty damn close. Like the ass slider barely moves, which and just like you can't really make an attractive character in that game, from what I can tell.
Yeah, it's a religion, Lawrence, and it's like, and then as somebody who is a religious person, like that's where I'm like, I need to pray for these people. And then I engage, I don't view it as any of it as a waste of my time. It's just like, I'll talk with anybody who's who wants to have a real conversation. And if you don't want to have a real conversation, guess what? Here's the funniest thing. My notification settings are like, if you do not follow and you don't you haven't verified your email, I will never see the words that you tell me. It's like people can talk trash, and they sure do. But it's like, all right, like if you want to have something in good faith, I'm all about it. In fact, that's one of the reasons, like, we open it up, and there was that one guy in the Discord, and then like the day after we had Grums on the podcast, he was like, oh, you should have a call-in show for the podcast. I was like, that's what every live stream is a call-in show. Come hang out. We haven't seen them. Maybe they'll come hang out. Maybe they'll present it.
He showed up once with me and
yeah, like while y'all were playing. And the thing is, like, he's like, I was like, dude, I'm not live all the time. Like, this isn't a place where you're like, oh, every Monday through Friday we're hanging out with Ginger, for 6 hours. And it's like, sounds like hell. I'm only interesting for 3, and then there's a cap. It's like, after 3, we're like, all right, Louis C.K., get the out of here, man.
Yeah.
Why is the combo hand? I just joined. What's the? Oh, we were talking about. I went to Ghost of Tsushima. Basically, the culture war that's going on within gaming right now. Because it's like people are overusing the term woke, and it's like I don't like the term. I haven't liked the term. It doesn't specifically target anything, and it always creates division because of that. It's like because nobody can agree on what it works. Well, yeah, it's overreaching, it's overused, and nobody can agree on what it means. So therefore, like, as soon as that word gets, you know, like it's just overused. Like, let's talk about the pros and cons of DEI, the poisoning of the well, you know. Let's talk about like how it's infecting these games. I thought it was something that was interesting. I never thought of. I was watching like another Asmon reaction, and he was saying that like the big reason why they have, you know, they go in these routes is to secure this ESG funding because they can't secure the funding another way, which says maybe the idea for the game sucks.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that is something that's happening, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Again, like I would say, like for anything else, 2024 has been a massive victory for, you know, for that aspect, but I'm really interested to see what happens with Dragon Age Veilguard because like it's got the nostalgia factor. There's gonna, you know, like I would say like you're kind of the normie gamer out there isn't necessarily like cued into the, you know, to what is being done. But then I'm questioning like, are they marketing it? Are they marketing it on purpose like that just to get like outrage marketing and attention? Because like if the game's good, we know people are gonna play it. Like that's, whew, these guys are kicking my butt. Time to run. Yeah, I'm going to be sticking with the main server. So one of the things that y'all should know, especially as a commitment in this as a content creator, I never want anybody to spend money to come play on the server with me or with our clan. And oh gosh, that's I should run. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then me transfer off or go play somewhere else. I did a fresh start server campaign, like with a bunch of people because they invited a bunch of content creators back when they first did that 2 years ago, and it was fun. But no, like that's just I'm gonna play my character on this server. I'm going to play another character on like Xbox that I'm going to use kind of for my story playthrough. And I might put them on this server, you know, as well, or maybe I'll put them on a fresh start server. I'm not so sure. You didn't know so many people cared about Dragon Age games? It'll be interesting. Dragon Age Inquisition was really, really well received. Like people really enjoyed Dragon Age Inquisition, at least from people in my general circle, but that's going to be, again, like if the game sells well, if it's a lot of fun, you know, it's gonna be interesting because like right now, I would say their side hasn't had much wins this year. I can't think of one. Can you think of any kind of wins they've had?
This year?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Well, and like I'm wondering if this is the start of, you know, like that pushback. Well,
and it's turning. I mean,
well, the pendulum is swinging back.
Yeah, it's just gonna take time. I just hope it doesn't swing back to.
Yeah, agreed. Like it could go really bad really quickly if it goes too far.
I honestly think it is gonna go really bad.
And that sucks.
Just because right now it's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the reaction is gonna really destroy it.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Fruit salad. Let's see here. What we got? Travel ration, light meal, satisfying meal. Let's go and equip. There we go, perfect. All right, let me swap back over to my healer real quick, and then I'm gonna put myself into queue for something. Go activities. Let's do some expeditions. Random. Healer, please. Cool. There we go. Never touched Inquisition story. Got to the top 10 board in multiplayer. Dude, that's how exactly. I didn't get to the top 10, but I literally played the multiplayer of Inquisition more than I played. I think I started a character and then I was like, I'll get back to this. Never did. Never did. But yeah, dude, that's awesome. There we go. Yeah. Did I ever finish the D4 campaign, Kodas? No, dude, I still haven't. I'm like level 30 or 40 or something like that. I know the Vessel of Hatred is getting ready to drop, so. Yeah, well, 1 second. Trying to find that. There we go. Having over 3,000 hours in old school RuneScape, it feels like it's time for a new game. The fact that this doesn't have a monthly sub is just awesome. Dude, FML, yes. That's actually, like, again, just the data nerd in me is like, all right, let's see what shakes out of this tree, guys, right? Because you got Final Fantasy 14 on all platforms now. Throne of Liberty dropping at that free-to-play, you know, like, kind of tier. It's going to be interesting. That will, you know, obviously people will check it out because of that. New World not having a sub, like, it's like it becomes like just a level of like, oh, do you want it, you know, like an MMO that especially has like a modern look and feel in terms of like visual fidelity and just like how beautiful it is. Like, look at this place, guys. Like, this is a gorgeous area. I love it. I love being in Evan scale, and they're just getting better with their zone designs. Like, let's go.
Someone's asking what a good first location is for a house.
Eden's Grove or whatever, like, what is it called? I'll just let him beat up on me for a second. Everfall. Eden's Grove, no. Y'all see like the player numbers going up on the base? On the current PC version? I thought that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teleport.
Dude, Flail Live Staff is... I love this. There's some changes coming, and so I need to go and... there we go. Landmark charted. Perfect. That's what I wanted. I need to... put out like a video for anybody who's interested in it. It's like this. I love this build. Alright, I'm gonna log on. Oh, wrong button. Wait, why am I eating? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, dude, yeah, like let me go into my character for y'all. And then into attributes. Whoops. Character, attributes. Yeah, focus right now is rocking at 337. I bet I could, if I ate some food, like food would literally push me over 400. You know, I could do that. I could also lower my constitution and bump up that. I guess I could, like that. That's not a bad idea. Respect, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Pop it at 400. All right. Do 160. 402. Oh. As a new player to New World, what plans to make this game casual game between Final Fantasy 14 content? Do you feel it's better going legacy for a better economy, or just start fresh? Personally, I vote legacy, namely because, yeah, you do have that mature economy. There is something, not to like undersell it though, like there is something beautiful and fun about playing on a fresh start server and kind of seeing every, you know, lots of excitement, a lot of people like rushing, a lot of people having that new player experience. So you can kind of, you can end up doing that. But the thing that's going to be great about it though, like one of the things I've said is that they finally added in, like, you know, with the update, you have they have cross server expeditions now, which has been a huge help. But with the increase in player base and more, like that's going to be real exciting to see, because even if you you don't run the risk of being locked away on a server that people eventually, like, you know, take a break from or step away from. So, and Solarian with the Prime sub, dropping the Bezos bucks on me. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that Prime sub, dude. Let's get that member goal up and moving up to a 2, baby. Mike was so generous last time, pushed us over a goal, And for every 25 guys, I gift out 5 to you. So that way you can, yeah, it's just my way of saying thanks and thank y'all for that support.
Hello.
Stag says, planning on starting on a console server with my friend. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, they do have and they will have exclusive servers that are just for Xbox and just for PlayStation, and PC players won't be able to transfer on. But I'm gonna stay on Legacy. That's you know, I got no plans on leaving. Let's see. And his name is John C. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
How are you doing today, Mike?
Not looking to work overtime tonight, but yeah, I have to.
I get to take my lovely wife on a date tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dates. It is my parents' 45th anniversary today.
Dude, happy anniversary to your parents, man. 45.
They've been together for 51.
Let's see here. Julie and I are 14 married, and I think we dated for 3 years before that. So 14, 15, 16, 17. No, maybe more, because this January, and I love my wife, but her ability to remember things sometimes, the dates and whatnot, doesn't coincide. But in January of this, you know, coming year, 2025, she will have known me and, you know, longer than she lived life before she knew me. And that's just an interesting little...
That'd be scary if somehow she knew you longer than she lived life. That's impressive, Brian.
Yeah, yeah.
My parents have known each other for like...
What's up, Chili? How you doing, buddy?
Crap.
It's good to hear from you.
We've known each other for 51 years.
Yeah. Dude,
So,
Chili... oh, go ahead. Yeah. I was going to say, like, I can't express how much I'm loving Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm in chapter 9 so far, so I don't know how much more there is, but my goal is to get it and then jump into Rebirth before the end of the year. We'll see.
Yeah, talking about Final Fantasy.
Oh, wait, what chapter are you on?
9.
Okay, no, you're about, yeah. No, you got a while.
Yeah, I got a while. All right, we'll see.
About halfway.
Yeah, you're about halfway with that, because I do remember it being a little bit longer than...
But some of the chapters, you got a lot more chapters on the way, but some of them aren't really that long, sort of thing. So you've got a lot more chapters. But
yeah, I've noticed that. I like all of a sudden I was like, oh, I felt like I was in some chapters for a while, and then it's like, oh, and then it was a quick chapter or something like that, which is cool.
Yeah. So although it sounds like you got a lot of chapters left, some of them are like 30 minutes. So.
Yeah,
oh, cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Julie. The chat saying Ginger is the controller player that I know of. Yes, dude. I play on. I love it, and I know Mike does not.
I just love saying the fact because controls are so bad. Controller support is overrated.
Oh, dude.
I'm also a controller player. So
Man, if this was like an After Dark stream, I have a funny joke to follow that up.
I mean, for me, it is. It's nearly midnight.
Well, yes, but it's not for me.
Depending on your time zone. I always find that funny when people complain about I say it's not after dark. I'm like, it might not be after dark for you, but for someone.
Somebody, yeah.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
No, we're not past the watershed yet, so you can't really say bad words yet. Yeah, I don't know if you've got the watershed in America, but that's the term.
Yeah, the watershed is such an interesting concept that I learned that it's like, they literally, they're like, all right, let's get a time check. All right, now we can cuss. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, like when you watch people live on even on like charity streams where they're like charity TV shows where they're doing like this is a 12-hour charity night, like we're raising money for kids.
Yeah.
And you see them looking at their watch on their hand. They're like, okay, it's 10:59. It's 10:59:50. It's 11 o'clock. It's 11:01. No, I can swear.
Oh, dude, you can learn the controller lay, and then Jason says TL has so many issues with the servers right now. That doesn't ever really surprise me though. Like I'm never surprised by MMO launch servers are struggling. Like okay, like that's.
I mean, 14 is out for 10 is 11 years, and for the last month or so has been DDoS basically.
But that's a different thing. That's a different thing. And maybe that is what is happening. But it's like when somebody is like actively like DDoSing, like they're just assholes. because especially you're like, stop trying to ruin people's fun.
Well, you're either actively DDoSing or you're server issues, no matter what, is basically a DDoS, whether it's an actual person doing it on purpose or just due to the hype of the game of people having logging in is technically also kind of a DDoS, because it's the same thing really. It's just that one's a natural version that'll happen from hype, and one is just someone being, mean.
And then Solaren says 13 years married, 24 years together, 27 years known. I'm 45 and she's 43. Dude, that's awesome. Congratulations.
While I have both of you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I know you and me, Brian, we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, the 11 raid in Final Fantasy.
The 11 raid, the House of Changes. What's your thoughts, Chili?
Oh crap. I died.
I mean, I'm excited for the 11 raid. The fact that it's June means that I still feel like.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
What?
Did you say that the update's in June?
No, the raid is in Juno.
Juno, gotcha. Okay, sorry. I was like, that's the bigger story that they're like, it's so far delayed that it's not coming out till next year. Holy crap. Okay, cool.
The raid is in Juno. Well, at least part of it, because we know we're also visiting the Shadow Lord's lair. So.
Yeah, I saw the Shadow Lord images.
I'm hoping that this means though that because we got 3 raid tiers, because there's always free raid tiers and expansion. That means that we're probably gonna just do the best of the base game, which was the Shadow Lord, which is technically the Shadow Lord. The Shadow Lord was the base game. Yeah. Rise of Zilla, which would be the Archangels, and then Chains of Mafia will be the final one. The only reason why I say that is because Prish is in part 1. So maybe they're just like, we're gonna add Prish into the storyline of the base game and Zilla, which won't be too difficult really when you think about it.
Right.
So I'm excited, and I'm excited for the housing update. I don't know if you heard about the housing update.
Break it down for me. And then FML says they got to go work. Thanks for hanging out, FML dude. Appreciate you.
Basically.
Go ahead, Chili. You probably understood a lot more than I did. So.
Okay, so the one that's coming out right now is there's 2 big updates that they're working on. One is going to come out in this patch, and then one will be coming out in the future, but they don't know when in the future for the other one. And I'll be honest, the other one is the one I'm excited for the most. The first one is they're allowing you to buy new interiors so that you can change the interior look of your house.
Nice.
So say you have the Goblet, a house in the Goblet. But you prefer the house from the Mist. You can now swap from the Goblet style to the Mist, which will cost you nothing. If you have the house, that will cost you nothing to do. Yeah,
that is an update that is solely tied to the memory changes that they've made, because it's like that makes sense, because it's like now they can load in that information without absolutely destroying the server. So that's a really good optimization for the memory.
Another thing with the change of this patch too, before Chili goes on the future patch, is that they're also, with the interior change, they're also giving you the option of removing the ugly ass pillars along the wall.
Yeah. And then the biggest change that will be happening in the future, your house is going to become a TARDIS, basically. You'll be able to pay money to upgrade the size of your interior of your house. So if you have a small house, you will be able to have the house in style of a large house inside the small house. So although it'll look like a small house from outside, when you come in, you'll have the size of a mansion instead of just a standard small house.
And no, Thean, he's given me the rundown of the update announcements coming to Final Fantasy 14 with the 7.1, and then rolling that out over time. That's gonna be great, because giving people that option. Yeah, that would make sense. Like it would be unfair if they didn't have to pay money, because you get those additional benefits.
But they have not determined the price of how much you're going to have to pay. I'm just gonna guess it's gonna be the mansion default price, but discounted. Based on,
I think it's gonna be at this kind of price of the actual prices of the houses themselves.
Yeah,
probably at the base price.
Dude, the New World housing system, I think, is the best system. Like, that's what it's like. you have housing, it's in the open world, like, and then anybody can purchase that house. And then you will always, if you own it, you'll always see your house and how you decorate it. And if you don't own it, then there's a point system that's going on behind the scenes based off of your activity in the zone and like how you decorate it as to what the general public sees. So it's like so meaning like from a house perspective, like it is in a like, but it's just in terms of like, you will never, if you own it, you're not like, oh, I wish I could see my house, I'm not in first place. No, it shows you your house. But if it's not, then it's like, okay, it's such an interesting choice because it's, in my mind, it solves a huge problem because instead of having like limited housing that like Final Fantasy 14 has to do so much work to be able to, you know, add in new housing, and it never seems like it has enough. And so it's always in high demand. And for people who want it, like sometimes it feels like they can't have it. In New World, buy whatever house you want. Like if you got the coin, go buy the house. You know, it's like, all right. And there's so many extra benefits to owning a house that aren't just cosmetic. And so I find it to be like a system that I was like, oh, I think they really did housing well in this one. Now, that is a really good point, Jester. So Jester says, I wish AGS would take that housing system and fork it over with company housing. And yes, like that's one of the things like we don't have, especially in the Aeternum update. But I really wish they would strengthen the companies and the different things that we would have access to. 100%.
I've been saying that ever since I played before too, is that I wish they would give, because I even put it in some of the, when I did the beta testing with you, I said, please put in a company system for housing and also a storage system.
And Cody says New World needs houses out of the cities with various farming. And I'd give 100 behind that 100%, Cody. I think that would be a really cool thing to see as well. But right now, I think they're focusing in on a smooth launch, stable servers, a lot of the quality of life stuff that they've added in, and then essentially that's where, again, if they come out and they're like, all right, in 1 year we'll have another update, then it's like, well, all right, just, you know, I'll come, you know, check it out at that time. But I think essentially based off of what I've seen with the improvement on the new version. Like I'm actually really excited for what Amazon follows it up with, because I think the fact is more players. The question is that will this finally be the death of the narrative that New World, you know, is gonna get shut down or something like that? And I hope so. I'm sure there's gonna be people who still believe it, but they've been wrong this entire time, you know. And so it's like, all right.
Well, it's the common thing. That game is that game.
It's just like if they add for me after that, like I'm like, no issue with it, no issue. Yeah, that makes sense. Games die all the time for people, but in terms of like games getting shut down, it's like, by what evidence do you believe have? Oh, because EA killed Anthem. That is not comparable.
Well, it's like
Anthem did sell a lot though. Like Anthem did sell a lot.
Another one that goes through a big spike every single year, but we'll also be seeing different changes with the fact we're the new system that they're going with. Destiny 2, because around launch of the expansions, they always have a hype and say broad-banded numbers because of the new expansion, but once people beat it, it all dies down.
Thea, no, I'm not going to be starting on a fresh, like my fresh character will be on console, and I'm going to play that just so that like I can sit back and enjoy like the story cutscenes and stuff like that. Because I'll play that downstairs, and I think the kids might have fun, you know, as we hang out and do that. But yeah, and then Celine, Anthem killed Anthem, and yeah, you're 100% right on that.
Oh, no.
I still thought that like EA, but yeah, but I'm saying like the devs and stuff, like, you know, they blame COVID, but I was like, what they were showing off with Anthem 2.0 could have worked. Like I was like, okay, cool. Like we've seen games come back, you know, when they're like, okay, let's listen to what the problems were. And so we got to see that you know, we've seen it multiple times in action. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. Anthem can come back, but that really was always just a decision. And EA decided, no, we're good. Dude, I loved Anthem. Like the javelins were so much fun, dude. I still love that game. It was broken.
Podcast on it and
Anthem radio, Anthem free radio. Oh man, dude, I was all in on Anthem. I was like, this game's great. And I mean, in terms of like, again, the javelins, like the all the BS that you had to deal with, like it was just like, what the heck? And then so they were showcasing the 2.0 stuff, dude. And I was like, okay, yeah, it feels like they get it. And it's like, I really wish they didn't kill it. I really wish that they would have stuck it out and said, okay, like, how can we make that vision come true?
For anyone that doesn't know, the engine was so bad for Anthem. The engine itself didn't support menus inside the game. That was not a feature that the engine at the time supported.
Yeah.
So the only way they could get the equipment to work and the item system to work was to have the item system be its own zone. So you had to technically load into a completely different area when you opened up the item space. So that's why there was a loading screen for the equipment page, because the equipment page was its own world.
The engine, the fact is the devs didn't know what they're building and they were trying to bring it all together in the last moment. And I thought the characters were great. Like I thought the voice acting, I was like, let's go, let's see what happens. And then it's like, wait a minute, like, no, this is not right.
But like if New World didn't support mining or gathering properly, and when you tried to mine something, it went into like a different area with just your character in the tree, and then you had to load into that every time you cut a tree. Harvest. Tried to lumber a tree down. You had to load into a completely different zone, where you watched your character take down the tree, and then you load back into the game.
Absolutely, just like, man. But the 2.0 stuff looked good, and I'm still salty that they pulled the plug on it. And they did it on the anniversary of the game. And then the guy went, who was the director, went over to do Dragon Age, and then he eventually left the studio. So the Dragon Age has had a lot of trouble development as well. So, and that's actually like kind of like bringing back up that the stuff we were talking about earlier, Amron, with it. It's like one of the things that somebody was saying, like these games, they're bad, and it's like, because they're DEI, and it's like maybe it's because, of that it's not that the game has it, but it's that all the problems that get introduced behind the scenes lead to trouble development, and that doesn't necessarily 100% connect to DEI like as an exclusive, because we've seen trouble development. Yeah, go ahead.
I think as developers are scaled, and because teams have to be larger and bigger as games get bigger, it's just a communication problem. Like when you've got teams probably in 5 different languages across the world with like hundreds of people in each different studio, there's going to be some cross-wire. There's going to be problems that rise up, and it's not. You can say that you can do it perfectly, but it's almost impossible to schedule. If there's like 1,000 people, even if that was 1,000 people in your own country, all speaking the same language, that's still 1,000 people. But if you got 1,000 people, probably in 4 different countries, all speaking maybe 8 different languages.
Yeah. Dude, you're trying to move a ship that is like almost impossible. It's like, and that's why it's like, for me, I've always viewed video games like just as a modern miracle, because of just how much effort it takes to make them. And it's not gotten easier, and budget's a balloon. That means, yes, you've gotten more devs, but you've also got more management. And then if nobody is really driving home a vision for the game, and if you get stuck in these, what was it? Not Sea of Thieves, but the Skull and Bones, like 11 years of development. How much development was put in? Concord, 8, 400 plus million. Then like the Suicide Squad. We just keep going on. Like it's been miss after miss after miss, and it's like the amount of money that they've been pouring into these things. It's just like, oh, dude, I feel like, man, that sucks. As far as Blessed Obelisk Key, I do not know where we're supposed to go.
Aww, there's an Overwatch anime being made by Netflix.
Dude, Overwatch is like, you're just like, all right, oh, hey, this is an Overwatch from Sony, and then it's like, nope, it's gone. That's the craziest thing is like Marvel Rivals looked way better in the same conference.
That comes out December.
Yeah, I was
excited.
that looked way more fun than what they even like. I was like, they showed Concord, and then it's like, okay, Marvel Rivals. I was like, that looks like a better game.
Yeah, and guess what? It's free.
Yeah.
So, it's free, and it's got all the characters you know from the MCU and other things. So.
Now Joe says that he's gonna be playing Throne of Liberty, but I already pre-ordered New World because I love the beta. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing Throne of Liberty here on the 1st. It's going to be an interesting, hopefully fun time. But like I was like, there's just no way I don't have $40 to spend. I don't have 40 hours. I do have $40. I don't have 40 hours to like try and pour into Throne of Liberty right now. And I was like, all right, cool. And then all I have to do is play any of the other numerous games I own for a few days, and then I can go and play Throne of Liberty for free. And that's what I'm doing.
Oh, is it going to be free? That's nice.
Free on the 1st, baby. But that, like, it's like, it'll be neat to see. Like, honestly, like, it seems like the numbers are looking pretty good. People were like saying there might have been it's been saying like they might be disappointed in the number. And it's like I wasn't expecting Lost Ark style numbers of 500,000. I think a lot of people are kind of burned out of games as a service games anyway. So it's like, yeah, we're going back more to a kind of a niche.
I think people have seen the last couple MMOs launch with like, $1 million. What was it? Lost Ark launched with like, was it 1.5 million or something?
Dude, yeah, it was like massive numbers. It was like 500,000 that had 500,000 concurrent that had bought early access, and then then it's like as soon as early access ended, it's like there was so much hype behind that game. Right, I haven't seen the marketing for Throne of Liberty, so I don't know if you guys are getting that in like y'all's feed.
I've been seeing some stuff in it, but I'm not really interested in Throne of Liberty. Just doesn't look.
I think it's smart that they launched it on console and PC. So it's like, because you can end up getting obviously you get more players that can check it out. Yeah, dude, like, and the thing is, like, I think if 2024, regardless of what side of the political aisle or culture war you fall on, like, I think 2024 shows that if you do like say I'm gonna hold on to my money, like, it's literally that is all you have to do is say you have to hold on to your money, and things can change. Like Ubisoft, for example, they announced like, yeah, I mean, who knows if they'll stick with it, but right now they're in absolute panic mode. Hey, paying for paying $30 more for just early access, and especially with Star Wars Outlaws, where they're like, now you got to delete your save to get all the bug fixes. Like, that in and of itself, like, if we as a gaming culture say, you know what, we're just not gonna do that anymore. Oh, or paying for head start, like, but it obviously is, it's worked because people spend the money and they make that extra money.
Well, it's still underperformed, right?
Star Wars did, yeah.
Yeah. So.
But it's as a part of their announcement, especially for like Assassin's Creed, like, hey, we're coming back to Steam, and like okay, that could be generally positive. We'll see.
Whoa.
Do I think New World is much better than Throne of Liberty? Personally, yes. Not that actually means anything, because
it looks. Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, I would say that's unfair to compare.
Well, I mean, no matter what, everybody will always compare, but oh, darn it, wrong button.
I'm just saying, like, well, because
boom, baby.
Coming out, New World's had years to make content and update itself and change.
Yeah. Compare the games at the same time period. Same people were saying.
If you compare it now, it's just not fair. It'd be like comparing New World to ESO. You really shouldn't do that.
If you compare it in the same year, then
more
it's
comparable than that, because New World has had less time out.
New World is the closest in that, but
still had time.
Yeah.
But New World's also entering into its 3rd year, and we know hands down that year 3 tends to be kind of where MMOs really kind of find their footing, because I guess it's just like, hey, yeah, we can do this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, okay, cool.
However, in terms of launch, I would still say New World is better.
Throne has only been out for a year in Korea, a year in December.
Yeah.
You know, so it hasn't been out that long. But that's an added benefit that we've seen with games have, because when you look at not Throne of Liberty, but A Lost Ark, it had 3 years. It struggled out the gate. But they got their act together. They figured it out. They released it, and they had massive amounts of success in the West. New World, everybody's playing it. Like, honestly, that's the thing where I was like, the analysis of the game being bad doesn't align with how people actually play it and what they say about it. They're like, I love this, I love this, I love this, I hate this thing. I put, you know, thousands and thousands of hours, and now, like, yeah, you know, like, okay. Like, that in and of itself says, like, there is something beautiful and that you really kind of resonate. You, as soon as you step into the game, you're like, it's got some magic to it. And that in and of itself, I was like, yeah, let's see if they can refine it. They can polish it up, you know, bring it to consoles, and we'll see what shakes out of the tree. And I think we're going to see things really shake out really well. No worries, Lawrence. He's like, whoops, Caps. It's like, why are you yelling at me?
Loud noises!
Apes together strong. I don't get what does apes mean? I've seen people use it in terms of crypto.
I just think it means humans together strong.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it's a callback to the new Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a commercial for the third Planet of the Apes, it seems.
Fascinating.
I only remember it because I was watching the Beard Meets Food.
But New World is an MMO. I just think it's pretty ingenious marketing, because it's like MMO does carry, you know, a degree of, you know, stigma to it. And so it's like, yeah, it's an action RPG. You can play it, and then you got, you know, and it happens to be an MMO. That's what Final Fantasy 14 did. And that's where it's like when people were like comparing New World at launch, they're like, but WoW and 14, and they all have all this stuff. It's like, and same thing when it goes down to it. They're like, they just need to follow the 14 thing with being reborn. It's like, yeah, that's what they did, except for like the game and the world didn't change as much as it did from 1.0 to 2.0. But New World is actually getting swimming much sooner than what Final Fantasy 14 did. So I was like, if you look at it by, you know, time and time again, then it's like, okay, like, but it's hard to compare like an MMO to an existing MMO that's got 10 plus years of content. Like, yeah, there's no way that a new MMO is gonna have that. And so when people then start the death spiral and like, oh no, the game's dying, it's like, you don't understand. Like, that's, yeah, no one's gonna sustain hype for any video game. New World Aeternum will have its downturn in its players. The question is that are they able to invite players back in? And if players have a good time with the game, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, there's a new thing, you know, that the game added. Okay, let's go check it back out, because guess what? There's not a subscription. You've already bought the game. You just log in and play. There you go. Call it a day.
Yeah, but Brian, with them adding and swimming, it's no longer, hey, we got to get out of the water fast, because or else we're going to drown.
That's true. I was like, I don't think, like, when people were making arguments that the game needed swimming, and it's like, I never thought that it did, and they've added it. It's not like you can...
consequential thing.
Yeah, and it's not like you can dive under the water, and maybe that will come later, but it's like, it's the base of it is there. Okay. It doesn't, you know, it just means that if I accidentally fall in while fishing, I'm not gonna run in have any troubles. I suck at hitting this guy. There we go. I'll lock on. Keep forgetting that I can do that.
In a sense, 14, but that too, I joined after Stormblood, but in a sense, 14 did have swimming, but not dive swimming.
Oh, like, yeah, you just walk on the water.
On underwater.
The well, no, they wouldn't even let you into the water. Like, it was.
Oh, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't at all.
In Reborn, they didn't have swimming.
Yeah, no. So it was swimming was added in Stormblood. That's when they originally added it. And so then you think of the timeline, that was like year 7 or 8 for the game.
Something
you know,
like that.
And so it's like, yeah, okay, New World got it in year 3. Like, and not that any of it matters, but if people want to try to put points up a board, let's just be honest about it.
I think people would complain less about swimming if the water wasn't deep, because SWTOR is a game that has shallow water, and it does not have swimming. It's never had swimming, but all the water that you interact with is shallow. So I think if you didn't have deep water that you could die in, that you could drown in, I think the cause for swimming would be a lot less.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, oh, if it just stopped you, and that's the thing. I rather it not stop me. Let me go. Let me, like, hey, all right, I'm gonna walk in and see how far I can go. It's like that is a natural wall without you walking into an invisible wall. Like, all right, you can't progress any further. The
that's one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things that did in New World. If I wanted to avoid enemy detection and whatnot, I'll just go underwater, walk it, follow the path that I already kind of see, hide up on a rock where my head peeks out, where I can get my breath back, and then go right back underwater and keep walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would I think that naval combat like BDO would be a good for New World? And just forgive me, I haven't done BDO's naval combat, but yes, I think naval combat would be a really good addition.
Naval combat
I think it would be difficult to make it work in New World just based off of the lore. Although,
and the person to ask about that would be me, because Cameron knows I've done a lot more naval combat.
yeah.
The ships and stuff are really, really fun in BDO, but they're also a pain in the ass to grind up to get to the one where you can actually still drive the ship while firing the cannon, instead of having to stop the ship, fire your cannons, move, adjust, go back to the cannons.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really interesting to see what that would bring, you know, especially because like there's so much, like if we just pull up the map, like there's so much opportunity. Obviously this is water, but this isn't what, you know, like there's some land here or something, and some land here that we can't get to, and it's like, let's go.
To what would the naval combat?
It would need some kind of purpose, some kind of reason.
Right.
Well, otherwise, people will be like, "Oh, that was fun."
Like in BDO, there's like a whole like system around sailing. You know.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to bounce for now.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to come and say hi.
Hey, Chili, always good to hear from you.
Yeah, with sailing in BDO, you got bartering, and also you have sailing itself, and also sailing to different islands to go barter and whatnot, and also monsters typically to it. But
Before I
the
go,
thing is, with the factor of
Go ahead, Chili. Hey, 1 second, Mike. Just Chili's got a dip, so I like him to promo his show.
if that's okay. Sorry,
Please.
Mike.
it's fine.
Before I go, we just celebrated episode 200. We had some wonderful guests on for 200. We got a couple of videos submitted from the community as well, which we played during part 3 of 200. We had Jesse Cox on the show, which was a lot of fun. It was fun chatting with Jesse Cox again. He's a wonderful individual. But no, yeah, we'll be back to normal podcast soon. But yeah, I stream on my channel on Movie Girl Radio on Twitch. And thank you, Brian, as always, for the love and support.
Amen.
And I'm hopefully starting another YouTube channel sometime in October.
All right.
So Brian about
It is such a like I don't know if you saw Meoni's like tweet, but it's like I was like, yeah, dude, like that sucks. And that's where it's like I don't know if it helps, but like literally just make a couple different channels, because to rely on one algorithm, and that's why I was like, to rely on one algorithm as your source of income, like that. Oh man, I'm like, that just seems like a recipe
I told him
for
to start making more shorts as well. He was like, I only get a couple hundred views. I'm like, have you looked at your shorts recently? Like most of them, they're not. I'm not saying they're huge, but like they've got more views than some of his other videos. So I'd like
shorts are not.
It's not for.
Like,
it's not financial like viable.
Yeah, shorts are not worth it.
You sure? Because like I get more
You
views on my
your
shorts than I
shoot
will.
right, but your shorts have to like really like kind of like grab people. So like I posted a couple shorts. I haven't been doing it, but I've been like, yeah, I'll take the live stream, and it's like, all right, the top 4 shorts that the AI really likes, I'll listen to it, make some adjustments. I'll post those as opposed to like, because it's like if I could easily overwhelm people with as much content as I'm able to produce, and it's like, no, let's go with it. Like,
you need to get.
I'm not saying make all shorts, but
right.
like He only has 7
Shorts
on his
is
channel.
right. Shorts is a good advertisement for your content.
Right.
That's what, like, if he can do occasionally, that's what, like, I don't mean like he should focus on shorts, but like, he does a lot of live streams, so like you.
Yeah, if he does a lot of live streams,
then
then shorts would be probably a good addition because, like
if you just do 1 short a week, or maybe once every couple of weeks or whatever.
Right.
From stuff you're already making. I'm not saying you should make the shorts, but like if you're already doing stuff and there's something you say, like as I've been saying, I've been grabbing some stuff and making it shorts, but only like occasionally, and only from streams that I'm only grabbing it from the streams.
Okay.
So yeah, like, but yeah, I was like, yeah, if you just do, I'm not sort of saying focus on shorts, but like, it's extra content, but you don't want to, kill people's feeds.
Yeah.
But I'm not a YouTuber, so what do I know?
how long has the Grendel Gold text bug been in the game for? I have no idea. What's that? See, it's Jilly. Everyone. Mike, you were saying something?
I don't know what that is.
Well, with the going back on the topic originally, with the naval combat putting in New World, it's one thing within the fact of the lore is that the island is surrounded by a mysterious, say, field of protection because of the corruption, and also you have the
Angry Earth is basically
the Angry Earth.
Yeah, the Angry Earth is basically
everyone on the island, so you really can't leave the island to do naval stuff.
Correct. And that's why it would be difficult to implement, if not kind of dumb, unless like they build in some sort of story thing where it's like, oh yeah, the Angry Earth is I don't know, allowing people to go further out, which doesn't make any sense that they would.
Yeah, especially after the fact that we fucked with them, and
the fact that they're like actively fighting against us, yeah, they wouldn't do that. That's not like, yeah.
Unless there's something miraculous in the story where they're going to come up in future with, oh well, we made up with them, let's hug it out, kind of deal.
I mean, they could. I expect some sort of alliance to happen between humans and the Angry Earth again, right? Not just between like not just between you and what's her face? Artemis, I guess is her name. I don't know.
I forget.
Yeah, I forget her name, but like, yeah, there's an alliance between you and her.
Mother of the Angry Earth.
Yeah, I think it's Artemis, but it's like you and her form a what's the word?
Oh, that'd be really cool, Daryl. Yeah,
alliance, but
yeah, make it a PvP mode, boarding ships.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be an expansion though. Like that content in and of itself is so marketable if it's fun. It's like, all right, check it out.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
could be a raid too, where it's like,
cool, but it has to work within the world.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if it doesn't work within the world, you might as well not even imagine it.
Yeah, it'd be neat to see how, because there's a lot of different ways they can implement it. Because you got the Varangian soldiers and stuff like that. Like that was kind of a thing.
Yeah, somehow they. Yeah, there is some stuff that's like kind of weird. Like apparently you can get out of the storm, but I don't know how. Because the Varangians.
Well, from the cutscene in the beta, just so you know, like that white box or whatever, like the box with the blue glow,
have,
like it allows you to pass through safely because it's like it counteracts that magic.
Yeah, some sort of Azoth thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that makes a lot more sense. I remember that cutscene because I watched you play it.
Yeah, man, and they've upgraded those cutscenes for sure.
Oh yeah, but like the Varangians, they came to the island, found the power that's here, and they went back. So went back to I think it was Russia or something, the Byzantine Empire. Basically.
Byzantine Empire.
It's a little weird that they chose 1609, right? I think as the time period.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like the muskets are anachronistic.
Well, I mean, also look at the fact that they got references to Cleopatra.
Hello.
French sons.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be there in a second.
That's another thing that kind of throws off the timeline.
Well, Cleopatra, I mean, there are inhabitants who remember Cleopatra who have been on the island for a while, right?
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, like, so the muskets are a specific design in terms of what the, like, muskets have been around for, I think they're from the 14th or 15th century, I can't remember. But, like, the muskets that are in the game,
I will be right there, son. Just give me a second.
Are specifically an 18th century design.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it takes place in the early 17th century is a little weird. But I'll ask this question. Any weapon recommendations for returning players?
Oh, dude, flail. If you haven't played around with it, it's super fun. And then generally, like, I always focus to get that feel. Like the sword and board and the flail is like some really good options. Oh wow, that one may go all the way down here.
But caution with the flail. If you're a returning player and haven't got the expansion, you can't play around with the flail.
Well, the New World Aeternum though is all inclusive. So it's like when it's all said and done, like that's one of the things that it puts everything up on that same playing field. The returning player on PC, though, either needs to purchase the expansion. My fear is that come the 15th, they can only purchase Aeternum, which is like $60. And then it's like, just buy the expansion. It's 30. It's like, that way, if you already have the base game, then it's like, just get the expansion. And then that way. Now, I think the best thing for Amazon to do, if they were thinking in a positive way, is like, just give everybody like a month after Aeternum launches, be like, all right, and in a month we're taking the expansion, purchase down, because I think that's only going to create confusion if you have all these different freaking versions out there. Like, what do you need it? Because like when a new player's like, hey, what do I need to buy? It's like New World Aeternum. It's like, oh, do I need to get?
Really for recommendations, Overuse, it depends on your play style, where we can, and if you like fighting up close, fighting at range. Because you can actually combine both of them too, because you're not stuck with, unless you want to go meta, you're not stuck with that certain, you're not stuck with having to do a sword and board with another strength weapon.
Yeah. Good point. So the Angry Earth DLC, like, here's how it basically is. Like, if you think of Aeternum, it is their reborn moment. They're relaunching this game to try, and on console and technically on PC, because it's the same game. It's keeping everything, your progress, carrying forward. But when it's all said and done, being that it just doesn't make sense for new players to come in and be like, hey, you need to buy the base game and the expansion, and here's the bundle. Like, no. Especially because of what they added into the expansion with mounts and the flail and everything. So it's like it puts everybody on an even playing field, outside of the people who like have not picked up the expansion. And I think it's perfectly fair for Amazon to say it's okay, you got to buy the expansion if you've already played the game, because I would guarantee that you put in probably quite a decent amount of hours. So I don't have any issue with that. The concern we have, and the answer I have not been able to find, is, will the expansion still be on sale as soon as the game is officially relaunched as New World Aeternum, or is it that the only option to purchase? Which that would feel kind of a bummer for players who aren't active in the know, and they're like, because come the 15th, all of a sudden they're like, my feeds are filled with all these streamers playing New World and everybody's talking about it and it seems like everybody's having a good time. Oh, I'll jump in. And then they're like, oh, now I got to spend $60 just to get the mounts and stuff, so hopefully it's like, oh, just buy the expansion. In fact, it would be really interesting to see, like, if they just let you, because you can just go and play. You don't have to buy the expansion to get New World Aeternum. You're just not going to have all the content. You're not going to have the level cap. You're not going to have this. So I think it would be more fair if they were like, yeah, let's go ahead and do this stuff. All right, what do I need? Collect the ancient tablet. I'm still in here, so I need to, I guess this is where's the ancient tablet? There's the ancient tablet. All right.
You can say gauntlet, but there's two gauntlets, void or ice.
Yeah. Oh, and dude, I love, like, yeah, the ice and the void. Like, they're a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
But he said he was playing before he quit, was Fire Staff and Gauntlet. When did you quit? Because...
Oh, they redid the Fire Staff.
Yeah, they redid the Fire Staff. If you quit before they started the season.
All right.
Like myself, I play bow and greatsword, dexterity greatsword, and I love it. And they changed up bow stuff, and I went logged back in, and I had to redo all my bow stuff because they redid it again.
Void Gauntlet's fun because you get that Void Blade. Like that's what I like to take with it. So it gives you that ranged and then also melee. So it's like, it's really cool. You that's actually that's what a lot of people did. Like the thing is that a lot of people, when they're talking about the player population, it's like, you know, when really the dip happened, because you have the hype, and hype will, no matter what, it's, you know, month and a half maybe, because it just is not sustainable. Oh, I gotta go up there now, and it's time for me to go be a dad. And so that's when you actually see it. It's like roughly when all of a sudden people have like done everything that they wanted to do. They've, you know, geared up, leveled up, etc. All of a sudden you're like, hey, it's January, February, March time frame, and the game's been out for 6 months, and that's when you really see kind of the population really dip. The fact is, I was like, they held on to a lot of players for a long time, and I hope that they can. I hope that those players will be willing to come and check out all the changes and stuff like that, because it's like, you know, various if you do, you know, come back and check it out. I'm generally curious as to the vets, you know, who haven't been playing all over this period of time. Will they be interested in the game? I have to think that maybe, you know, it's like, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see one way or the other. That, like, there'll be something to talk about, you know.
Well, you got two vets.
I hear some tears.
Kind of retired from the game. Me and Yemrin.
Yeah, exactly. And like, will you guys come back and check it out?
I'm already planning to. I've already rejoined the guild and everything. So.
Yeah. All right, guys. On that note, it's time to go be a dad. So thank you so much for hanging out with me on this Sunday. I should be back on Wednesday in terms of live content, and I got a couple of videos I'm writing and stuff like that. So if you guys check out the videos, thank you so much. If you guys engage with the content in some way, thank you so much. Thanks for the 20 likes on the stream, and for the follows over on Twitch, and Solarin with the Prime sub. So thank you guys so freaking much. You are awesome, and I'm looking forward to playing and talking more games with you guys as we go through the rest of this year and into, obviously, hopefully a bright future for the game. Yeah, I'm glad you caught me too, Jester. Thank you guys so much. I always appreciate y'all's thoughts, and we have, I think, some really great conversations. I do apologize if I missed any questions out there, but you guys, if you don't know, jump into the Discord. Top link in the description gets you all the content for free and so much more. So check it out if you got time. Anyway, thanks, guys.
And also sound effect for signing out.
You signed out, son.